EV regos have now topped 23,000 Australia-wide. I know Adam Pakin, he drives an electric vehicle. He loves his Tesla. So are you starting to look yourself towards an EV, or would you consider one? 133 882. Dan Petrie is a data analyst with Grafa, and he joins me live on the program this afternoon. G'day, Dan.
A very good afternoon to you, Ollie. How are you?
I'm good, Dan. I've got a bit of an eye on electric vehicle, to be perfectly honest, but I don't think I'm quite there yet, Dan. I think that might be the next car that I purchase, which would be, I don't know, somewhere maybe 10 years down the track.
Well, you would be in luck because you'd be in the majority then, Ollie, because I know you're a man of style, and the Europeans are embracing electric at quite the proverbial clip. So it's not just, there is a rise, 60% rise in the last year, 23,000 new EV-style vehicles in 2020 alone. That number continues to grow at a very strong rate, and it doesn't include the hybrids either. But here's a couple of statistics which kind of really stand out to me when I look at the data.
Yeah.
Australia now imports all its motor vehicles. We don't have any onshore manufacturing anymore. But here's the thing. The likes of Germany's Volkswagen, half their production will be electric vehicles by 2030.
Yeah.
And you will be in the proverbial money by that stage. I'm hoping for all of us. For the proverbial money,
I think we all do, Dan. Also, Joe Biden, wasn't it? He set that goal of 50% new US vehicles to be electric by 2030. So it's the same time frame, Dan.
It's the same time frame, but here's the but. It requires a lot of, the actual production of rare earths, which are not rare, by the way. That's just a name given to rare earths.
Yes.
But those materials within the periodic table, they will be sought in greater numbers. You do need to see a better, a far greater development in battery technology, even the likes of materials such as vanadium, which Ching, Australia, has a lot of, could perhaps solve some of that problem. But so there needs to be not just a shift to development, but you actually need to bring on a whole bunch of new technologies. You need to probably look at recycling metals, steels, materials at a much faster pace than we have previously. But the thing with electric vehicles is not just vehicles per se. Yes, there's a oil component in terms of the tyres and the polymers that make all the materials. But the key thing, which we seem to be we have to remember, is that they are a computer.
Yeah.
And so within that, the actual, what's being asked of those machines now is to have better cameras, visibility, to actually reduce our insurance premiums because there won't be as many crashes with this elevated level of, intelligence. But by and large, that request for materials could set up Australia very, very well. But also there should be that next phase is how do we value add to such an opportunity. So it's certainly there, but it's quite extraordinary when you're looking through it. But just so you know, Ollie, just in case your bosses are listening, the landing price for an average EV is 60,000 Australian dollars in this country. But if you ask me, I think you're worth every penny.
Dan Petrie, the data analyst from Grafa, appreciate your time.
Thanks, Ollie. Cheers, mate.